Where the hell are we? Welcome to the vlog. We are in Ukraine.
And we are driving from Kiev to Odessa.
And we are going to take you on our road trip straight across Ukraine. Bouncing over highway potholes with 140 kilometers an hour. This guy visited the outdoor gym.
We're downtown Kiev at the open gym called Muscle Beach, which is made of scrap metal, and I just did a back squat of 145 kilos.
In Odessa we went deep down underground and we saw the world famous catacombs.
So these partisans put up a good fight. First they tried to flood the whole system, which didn't work.
Then the gas, then the blockage.
We are here at the only place in the world where you can visit a control center to fire a nuclear missile. Right here.
The Radical Trips.
Hello! We're in Kiev, Ukraine, and this is a nice hotel. We like nice hotels. It's holiday, so we have to spoil ourselves a little bit this time. Come, I want to show you something. What's wrong with this beautiful bathroom, you ask? Well, that's a good question. I'm gonna tell you. In these little bottles with all these amenities, shampoo and soap and stuff, this happens. Drives you crazy. Hashtag first world problems. Other than that, we're happy to be in Ukraine and we are going to Odessa.
Розкидали суди боки, трембітали, туру-ру-ру-ру. Не злою напиду, світ за очі не піду, про свою лелітку барвну я співанку заведу. Не злою напиду, світ за очі не піду, про свою лелітку барвну я співанку заведу.
I like this place, it's amazing. I don't know what it is, old metal, old crap. Nice place to train and it's free of course. Let's find some guy who wants to battle with me. Did you saw what happened? I want to make contact. I start talking, they said hello back and then they just walked away. So people are here just to train and not to interact. wonderful. I pay a lot of money every month to train, and here in the Ukraine, where like all in the formerly Soviet Union, training is a big thing and you can do it for free. So I love this place. It's a pity we have to leave for Odessa right now, and I don't think I can convince Ren to stay here for a couple of more hours. So no more training. Let's go to Odessa.
Oh, what just happened? Almost lost the drone. For some reason there's a battery failure, so it was telling me on my screen. So, well, emergency landing going down. The funny thing is, it was going down just right next to that guy over there with his tractor, and I could see him on the screen. This little iconic blue tractor with a farmer next to it. On a location that allowed us to actually stop the car. And Karel was like, I know where that blue tractor is. And I was like, I'm losing the drone. But here it is. And of course, the guy didn't speak any English. He was totally confused, maybe as confused as I am. Maybe even, maybe it's the first time he even sees a device like this. Luckily, he didn't interfere, so I could get it. I was like, I'm sorry. And he was like, and I was like, you're right, but I'm sorry. Thanks for the drone. Don't shoot! I just witnessed a robbery. Let's get out of here.
This is living the good life in Odessa. Once it was a very wealthy city, right? It's one of the old world cities. And I didn't know much about it, but being here and seeing all the beautiful architecture.
The city became wealthy because it was one of the first cities in the world who disabled slavery. So people were moving to Odessa and they can work in the mines and they earned money. So that's how they became so prosperous 200 years ago.
You can see here the shallows tell us that it was the bottom of the sea million years. Maybe you have the question why they didn't extract the limestone by the pit method like this, why they create all these underground curvy narrow tunnels where it's so easy to get lost. The problem is that the limestone not always hard rock. Sometimes it could be soft like this. You see, it could be dangerous. When you go through this rock, it could collapse on you. So the miners, they extract the limestone, they go only through the hard rock. If you'll go there, you can touch this rock. This rock is much more harder. You see that? So they follow only through the hard rock. When they met the soft rock, they avoid, they go to the left or they go to the right.
We were so happy to be able to, of course, in very short notice, because we travel like lunatics, to be able to join the tour of the catacombs of Odessa. All underneath the city and stretching far outwards as well. There's these massive arrays of tunnels.
It's more than 3,000 kilometers. So somewhere from Paris to Odessa, you can get lost. If you already have one or two, and I can remember one.
You know, first time when I come here, I was a little bit confused. You know, it's hard boring because if you don't see the sky, you can get lost very easy because your inner compass doesn't work like this. So of course, 3,000 kilometers of the catacombs doesn't look like this. High ceiling, they fortified it.
Oh, this is already high ceiling.
Yeah, it's already high. So the wild catacombs looks a little bit different. This is the first level, and this is how the most of the catacombs looks like.
I think the guide told us there are 4 important rules when you go into a mine.
So this guy, it was just maybe 5 or 6 years ago, just recently. And he was from this speleological group search, and he was probably very self-confident because he said, this is my job, I know what I'm doing. So the first mistake, he didn't report which part of the catacombs he go inside. So later when they realized he get lost, it was very complicated because they don't know which part of the catacombs they should explore. And you know that catacombs in here is everywhere. And the second mistake that he did was that when he realized that he get lost, he tried to find the way by himself. And he go too deep, and there was around 100 people from all this pathological group, this club, and the police, militaries, firefighters, everybody was involved. They were looking for him, and they even didn't find the body. So sometimes,
Today they didn't find the body yet.
yeah, because probably he go too deep and he just disappeared.
Like the stories we heard in Chernobyl, the incredible bravery of the people involved, of defending the city for years and years, playing one big game of whack-a-mole, going up in one place, diverting the enemy, the Nazis, going back down into the maze where they couldn't be found.
But we will visit today this reconstruct partisan base, and it will give us an idea how they was living there during the war, because some of the partisans go to the catacombs in the beginning of the war in 1941, and they go in 1944. So they spend there years. We will be here like around 1 hour, but you will feel how uncomfortable in the end of the tour it will be. And imagine that there was a years here, and we will be just 1 hour.
I thought it was somewhat in a ratio of 50,000 soldiers on the Nazi side and only the 100 people, soldiers in total, defending the city of Odessa, mimicking an entire army.
So these partisans put up a good fight. First, what was it again? First they tried to flood the whole system, which
the
didn't
water,
work.
Then the gas, then to block it. So the gas was light, and it was mostly spread on the first level. so it doesn't really work. And the partisans just block entrance to the second and to the third level and go too far from this place where they put the gas mask, and it also doesn't really work. Only the one method that a little bit worked, they was trying to block all the entrances and the exits to the catacombs. I told you there was during the war around 3,000 entrances and exits to the catacombs. It was very hard to track all of them, but what they do, they put the advertisement to the every yard in the territory of the city, and they say to the people that we know that every yard have the secret entrance to the catacombs from this smugglers' times, and you have to register all of them, because if we will come and we will check unregistered exits to the catacombs, we will kill all your family, all your neighbors, and you. And of course, people was afraid for their families, and they point to this entrance and exits, and it's make a little bit more harder this task imperceptibly penetrate to the different parts of the city, but still possible for the partisans because they didn't close all of them. It was a much more higher chance to survive here than outside. Yeah.
Some stories this guy can tell. And this is only the part of the museum where, of course, it's easier to tour tourists like ourselves around. Specifically, these corridors are original, but have been recreated to mimic the original partisan days. How life used to be here really makes it feel like we were there almost. It's a unique attraction.
Without any tourists.
Honestly, Kyle, I don't know if I can ever go back to shared tours. I want to be private.
Of course, it's attract people, especially a young generation. They like to play there, they like to explore it, but it's very easy to get lost there, so you should be very careful when you go to the catacombs.
And it's not being used maybe for commercial purposes with a permit to host a party there or something like that.
It's a good idea, like I don't know, maybe underground bar or restaurant like this.
You seem like a commercial guy, aren't you?
Could be. So next time when you come here, I invite you to my bar in the catacombs. Yeah,
Definitely, we will visit you.
yeah, good idea.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Sorry, Rens. It took you 2 minutes, but it was too funny.
Where's the kitty?
Where's the kitty? And Rens was looking at Rens.
I was like looking under the cars. Where's the kitty? Where's the kitty?
Slow, Rens. Slow, Rens.
I was looking in the tree. Where's the kitty?
Oh, it took you 2 minutes to find the kitty.
There's the kitty.
Radical Trips reporting deep down from Oman, which is a Ukrainian city in the belly of the country, right in between Kiev and Odessa. Looking for the hotel that will allow us to go to the Ballistic Missile Museum, which is in a very inconvenient location, and we're very excited to go see it because this is actually one that's barely known. It's not even providing any information in English, so we can make up our own stories. is nice. I'm getting to know the real Ukraine. Gets better and better. Come on, agree with me. There's a certain charm to it.
I'm a little bit afraid to leave my car here at night.
Ooh. What is it smell? Alright, reporting in with a new plan. Due to the penetrating stench of gasoline, we figured that maybe the little red car cannot take any of these hills anymore. So we have rerouted to another hotel, which appears to be on a high street.
You just booked...
Just a minute ago. I have no idea what it says.
Take out.
But I trust you. It has worked so hard.
Good morning, Oman. It's a very authentic place. Honestly, we didn't feel all that safe. Yesterday evening, we were going for a walk to find a restaurant. Maybe took a stroll for 15 minutes or so. And it looked incredibly sketchy. I don't have that a lot. We will skip breakfast as it will only start at 9:30 on Thursday morning, so what the hell? It's now 7 o'clock, it's quite early. And we'll be heading out in half an hour so we can be in time for the Strategic Missile Base Museum. Yep, let's go.
Karel.
Our country.
Amsterdam.
Holland.
Holland. Amsterdam.
Hollandia.
Hollandia. Ja, inderdaad.
What are you pointing at?
All the places where there is a rocket division pointing to the United States of America and the European region. I'm amazed. It had 12 sections.
The 12th compartment was used to place the reserve crew in extreme situations.
2 officers were on duty for 6 hours.
There were 3 beds, a toilet, food supplies, dishes, medicine, technical papers, weapons, equipment, a TV, radio set and gas mask.
They checked all the systems, equipment and were always ready to send a rocket. In case they received a command to start a rocket, they had to take some papers from a safe to check the code on the screen, and in the papers to take the starting key and at the same time turn the key and press a grey button.
The time between the turnings of the key was not more than 1.5 seconds. Such measures prevented the forbidden start of a missile done by one person only.
In 1994, the army owned 176 missiles.
This is the real deal, Karel. This is interesting. I didn't expect this to be included in the museum. Well, of course, showing a lot of propaganda and authentic machinery that was used by the USSR to threaten the United States, including, of course, the main piece of this museum, which is the Missile Control Center, showcasing the original rockets that were kept here carrying nuclear loads. They also wanted to ask attention for the actual nuclear loads which were delivered by the Americans by throwing bombs on Japan or making an end to the Asia campaign in World War II. Disturbingly, somehow also including children's drawings depicting falling bombs with little hearts and flowers coming out of them, putting their own efforts for threatening with nuclear war in perspective, including that of the new generation. We're now actually heading into the missile base. I remember reading about 125 meters of corridors below the surface, 3 meters on the ground, hidden within the fields. Just came through 2 checkpoints, big guarded doors. This corridor will take us all the way to the silo, which is kept in a capsule, and it's suspended within the shaft, so it can actually withstand rocket attacks. We even saw that the controlling officers had seatbelts in their chairs so that they would be able to continue their work while being attacked from the air. I'm going in for the Model N.
Right. 3, 2, 1, lift off!
I'm sorry, America.
Rockets are leaving!
Hello, is this Stalin? Karel, where are you going?
Водка тут.
Oh, водка тут.
Да. Санузел вагонного типа.
Oh.
Yep, you need that too.
Санузел. Чай. Самовар, да.
Tea.
Это все построено по типа подводной лодки. Вот, это.
Oxygen.
Это когда сверху воздух подаваться не будет. А, да, вода.
Водка.
Вода. Не, водка нет там. Вода.
Oh, water!
Утопиться будет.
They also drink water now. It's not only vodka. This is really cool. And I have to say, this bed is almost better than the one that we slept in last night. We didn't actually send out the missiles, did we?
Oh, I hope so.
We have to. Let's check. Can we make a phone call? We should verify.
It's really important that nothing goes wrong. So there are a lot of checkpoints and secret codes and big doors to prevent that the missile is sent by accident.
It's so funny. He's trying his very best and he's very enthusiastic. He's trying to help us explain how this all works. He only speaks Russian. We can dissect some of it, putting together the bits and pieces that we can make some sense of. Sometimes it mimics Dutch a little bit. Sometimes. No, he's putting up an awesome show. Highly recommend this tour guide. Especially if you don't speak Russian. But luckily though, there were a handful of signs in English to support our Ukrainian friend. Back at ground level, the exhibition continued and showed how the missile base functioned during the Cold War. Amazingly, the entire 45 meters deep command bunker silo, with all of its 12 stories we just visited, could be lifted onto this massive truck and brought elsewhere. The same applied, of course, for the various nuclear ballistic rockets. So, upon possible discovery of the base, they could outrun the Americans and set up shop in another, hopefully still secret location. Walking around the area, it dawned on us how unremarkable these fields must have been if surveilled from space, hiding, for example, this small power plant in plain sight. The rest of these military machines must have been added to the museum after the base closed in 1997. But our trip must come to an end. We took to the highway again and saw our last glimpses of this poor but industrious country. There are old cars and even carts everywhere, whatever it takes to keep them moving. The many cheerful bus stops remind still of its communist past, in which public transport played a more important role, while nowadays their service seems to have been forgotten. With 2,000 kilometers ahead of us to get back to Amsterdam, we felt deeply satisfied with having experienced the real Ukraine. So up to the next radical trip, and we hope you'll join us there too.
Let's check the map to see where we are right now.
Yeah, are you done? Thanks for helping. No, let me do it.
Give it here, shut up. And then we do. That's how you do it, Brent.